CIK, GM4ZOA. Just going to change over antenna there, David, and see if this other antenna works on 80 or not. Just a minute. This is Golf Mike 4 Zulu Oscar Alpha on antenna 2. So I wonder if it works all right. Back to you, David.
Yeah, it was slightly lower signal strength, though your audio was exactly the same. Go again. I think it was about on my scale. It was about 5 to 6, but you were higher than that on the first one.
This is the first one. Antenna number 1.
That's about 7.
Something's gone wrong somewhere, David. So I'll catch you tomorrow anyway. All the best from GM4ZOA.
In the heat as well, but plus you must have a bit of air conditioning in there. Start with that. And yeah. So old Johnny, John Naunton has also been in France. I think he seems to go there and sit in the field for about 3 weeks. Sure he gets to know what the field's like, but it doesn't seem to actually move, which seems a bit strange, but there we are. John. Yeah, I meant to say, actually, after you mentioned about the bank thing, and then...
Right, back round you there, Peter. What if you found the page? I think it was 68. I'm not too sure not now, because I've got an idea. I'm not too sure. I've done a print here of it, Peter. G3HEE with a pause, G6JVX. Okay.
Morning, I think that's Eric in the background. Are you there, Eric?
Morning, Peter. Morning, Bert.
Morning, Ernie. Eric, nice to hear you. I was just talking to Bert about the radio, the little one for the car, and I'm using it at the moment. I'll be interested to see what you think to it. The page is 5656, sir. Under the heading of memory backup.
What do you say in there about the memory backup? What's it use?
Come again.
What does it use?
It uses an EEPROM, electronically erasable, programmable, read-only memory. It's a piece of hardware that they use in place instead of a battery.
Oh, on with an EEPROM, okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah. Well, I just wonder whether there's probably not the radio you could probably do, if you know how to do it, a factory reset. And it might, you lose your memories, but if you know how to put them back in again, you could try a factory reset, and that might bring your memories back again, or that EEPROM working again, Peter.
Yes, it's a good idea. It's also passed through my mind. I've very little to lose because I've got no memories anyway, to yourself.
Yeah, right, well, that's fair enough, yeah. I mean, it's worth a try, Eric. I mean, Peter. Because sometimes you get these hiccups with these radios, and you can do a memory reset, and that probably might bring it back to where it should be, Peter.
Yeah, well, I would have to get the book of words up for putting the memories back to remember how to do it, particularly the offsets for the repeaters. But I've done it before, I can do it again, and I haven't yet looked up how to do a factory reset, but I'm almost certain that somewhere in the book of words there is this. The other thing is, if I don't have any success with this, as to where to send it, as to who to get to mend it. The chap at Wisbech, I believe, was it G3RCQ, used to advertise repairs. Do you know anything about him?
Yes, I do, Peter. Yeah, G3RCQ, yeah. I don't know whether he does repairs or not, Peter. I'm not too sure on that, but I can find out for you. But you probably haven't got to have it repaired, you know, because I mean it's just a matter of resetting the CPU. So I mean if you find in the book how to do a reset, I would try that first, Peter, and then see how you get on, Peter. Go ahead.
Yes, that's exactly what I plan to do. Oh no, I'll try the reset first, and if that doesn't work, I'll have to have some professional help. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, okay. First we're round to Eric. I think Eric has joined us. Morning, Eric. He's on his 706, which I'm...
un peu perdu là. Désolé, F6DZO pour le QSO, ici F4HQ Julien dans le sud Finistère.
Oui. Ok, Julien, c'est 4 Hôtel Québec Echo. C'est clair, c'est pas... Oui, enfin je vois bien la région là, c'est pour connaître la région.
William. En ik blijf nog even gezellig meeluisteren. PNO WFO, Gambergronde, Papa Alpha 1 Echo.
By the time I'd done that, I was so stiff and sore from the efforts on Saturday. I'm afraid I just sat in the armchair for the afternoon and watched a bit of the cricket, then fell asleep. So that's been our week. June's still somewhat fragile. She's not out walking yet again, so we're just waiting to see what happens on Thursday and whether she's got to have a change of medication or whether it was just a blip. We just don't know what's caused it. You know, we answered all the questions that were put to us, and the powers that be, Judge DC's sister in charge and whatnot, didn't know quite what to say. She went and sought advice, came back and said, well, don't take medication tonight, but take it tomorrow, and then we'll see you next Thursday. So that was the advice. Anyway, here we are, Dennis. That was that. I saw John on Saturday morning. He was collecting his newspaper, and I was on my way down to collect mine. It was nice to see you, John. And thank you for the information about the cooker hood. I haven't yet had a chance to look on the internet. As you can hear, I've been just a little bit busy. And so today or tomorrow, I hope that I'll be able to follow up that need. Anyway, that's how we are, Dennis. I'm looking to buy a 90 millimeter a meter. That's right, a meter hood extractor, one of the old type, if I can find any, you know, the thin visor type that exhausts at the rear rather than at the top, and I might be able to find one with John's help. I hope so anyway. So that's where we are with that one, Dennis. It seems that all the electrical stuff is suddenly all going to pot, but never mind, we'll get there eventually. So back to you, G3 OCIM 0BAW.
Yes, 70BAW, G3OCI returning. Okay, Don, yes. Solid copy, right, way through, no trouble at all. Still 20 over 9. As you say, the background noise is a bit high. That's the biggest problem, of course. But managed to copy everything okay. Okay, about the MOT, they're coming to pick up mine on Wednesday. I know the MOT and the service, so that's got to be done. They're going to pick that up Wednesday and get that sorted out for me, so I'm looking to get that out of the way. Sorry to hear about June and the morphine. I would have thought the morphine would have sort of sorted itself out, but I hope it goes well on Thursday anyway and they get that sorted, Tom. Was it the bathroom you had problems with, or was it an extractor fan? I'm not quite sure what that was you was having problems with. The electrical bit that gave you a bit of a... Yeah, it's a bit of a nuisance, all this electrical stuff, isn't it? It gets old, that's the trouble. I've got some of these lights in the garden, you know, these solar lights. I've got 4 of them in the garden, and one of them's playing up, and I've had it to bits about 4 times.
I still can't find out why it doesn't work. I've charged the battery separately, so that's well charged, but the last night I looked out and it wouldn't come on. I've put it up under my shirt in the dark and it still won't come on, so I've got something in there that's wrong, and I don't know what. The trouble is there's not a lot of room to move around in that, and you've got no circuit, so it's very difficult to track anything. I'll just make sure I've got some bolts going in. I think that's the only thing I've got to do. Excuse me. We're going shopping this morning. We've got a bit of shopping to get this morning. I want some rechargeable batteries, and one of the local shops around here is selling them off quite about £2 something. I think it's 2 or 3 or something. So I'm going to get some of those in, get something like about 8 or 9. So I've got a good stock of those. They're much easier to charge. I've got a couple of chargers, so I can charge them up in no time at all. So I want to get that sorted out today, and 1 or 2 other bits and pieces I've got. Excuse me. Yeah, that's the trouble, Don. Everything electrical does seem to give you problems, you know. We've had 1 or 2 goings on, but I'm getting to the point, you know. We had the washing machine play up a couple of months ago, and in the end I said, no, that's it, chuck it, get rid of it, you know. It was making lots of funny noises, and when I felt the drum inside, it was all loose and wobbly, so I thought, no, the bearing's going, so I'm not going to muck about, so I just dumped it and went out and got another one. It's much easier to do that these days than when it used to muck around trying to get it fixed. It's time to get someone in and they fix it, and then they, you know, and it's still not going to be up to scratch. And the price they charge to come and service these things, you know, £150, you might just as well put it towards a new one. I found that's the best philosophy. If anything goes wrong, we just chuck it out and buy another one. That's the only answer. You know, you can't keep on with mucking about with these things. Nothing's repairable these days, is it? You can't climb anything. It's the same as a car, you know. When I had a car in my youth, you could climb inside and find out everything was going on and what was working, the electrics, the mechanics and everything else, and you could buy the bits and mend it. But you can't do that with a car these days. If you haven't got a computer and a software program that goes with it, you don't know what's going on. You know, it's so orientated around software these days. It's unbelievable how much the car is. Yeah, my car, what we've got now, is about 4 years old. Yes, 4 years old. So it just shows you it's full of computers, you know. Even if you do silly things, like if you start off and drive away and you've not put the handbrake off completely, it makes a hell of a lot of screaming noises at you. Seatbelt noises they make noises as well. There's lights coming up everywhere if you've got a problem, you know, all the lights, all the engine, all the oil. And it tells me when I need it serviced, you know. It said to me, you know, your service is due within a week or so. You know, they're just everything, but you can't mend things like that. You just haven't got the software, and you haven't got the know-how. That's a bit odd. You know, I had know-how for 20 years ago, but I haven't got know-how for today. So you just got to live with what you got. Say, right, garage, get it fixed, and that's it. You know, don't muck about. Otherwise, you find you waste more time and more effort trying to get things sorted out than it is to go and just come and get another one, buy another one, and say that's it. Yeah, we had a power cut yesterday. That was a bit of a nuisance. I did get a text to tell me what was wrong. As I said, someone cut some trees down and it went straight across the cables. That's a bit silly, isn't it? So the overhead wires, I think we're fed from the overhead cables here because we're quite in the sticks a bit, you know. So we get the electric comes on overhead cables. Obviously, someone was doing a bit of gardening, a bit too much, and cut something and it fell on the cables, he said. They rerouted it and we were all okay now. We're all back up and working. It did affect the internet, of course. I didn't have the internet when it was off, but when it came back on, it played up a bit until it settled down, you know. So I don't like losing that if you get a lot of information coming down there. We tend to use these things for too much. I've got an iPhone that one of the boys has given me. They update their telephones like this no tomorrow. You know, there's a new one coming. Oh, I must have one of those. I think they've all got iPhone 7s or something. So one of them's got an iPhone 4S he's given me. So that's a nice little thing. It's virtually a computer, you know. Everything's there. You know, no trouble. I'm signed up with BT, so it's only a £5 a month, and I think I get 200 minutes of calls. Unlimited texts and a gigabyte
data. I use the data occasionally because if I'm not within the range of an internet, I can use G3 and then pick up all the information. One of the other boys, Stephen, said he's got an iPhone 4 that he's going to give it to Joyce, so he's going to get that sorted out. And I'll add her to my account so she'll get a SIM put in there. She'll have the same choices of doing all the bits and pieces, so she can use that. And I don't use the landline much now. I find because I get 200 minutes of data, of information, not data, but talking and that. I'm going to tend to use that more than what I do the other one. So, I don't use that one at all much for outgoing calls, just incoming calls, really. That's all done, What else was there? Nothing else was there. I'm trying to think. No, I did think of something else. It's gone now. The memory's not as good as it used to be, John. Oh dear. Something I was going to mention, I can't think what it was. But yeah, we're all okay. We're all alright. As I said, we're getting along okay. We're just popping along. Still bowling, which enjoys it, It's good fun. Whether we can carry on for the next few years, I don't know, John. I'll let you know. It's whether the legs and the knees and the arms and the elbows work as well as they should. I'm not as good a bowler as I was in the past, and so I'm still vice captain of the bowls club anyway, so I don't know whether I'm going to keep that going much more. I think some of the youngsters might want to have a go at it, but they don't seem to be interested, They just say, oh no, I'll just bowl. I don't want to know about anything else, If you don't put the effort into these clubs, they don't work properly, do they? Right, I can't think of what the other thing was, Don. If I do, I'll come back to you on the next over. So back to you and see how you're doing this and see what it's like. Morning to you, John, again, and I hope you're all okay. F0BAW to go. G3OCI standing by.
G3OCI and BAW returning copy, Dennis. I'm afraid we're not up with all the technology of phones and whatnot. We've just got probably the most basic mobile phone that you can get. And that's where that one stays. We tend to use the landline more than anything else because we still get 24/7 free calls for 1 hour for United Kingdom, so we're happy with that, and that serves us quite well. But I can appreciate the interest that they generate, the new ones. I was going to say that I did intend to have a shot at looking at the IOTA contest over the weekend and see if I could pick up a few more islands and whatnot. But say the events of the bathroom lighting, it was the lighting that started it off. I had 2 lights that went out almost simultaneously. I found that one of them, the transformer had gone, and I replaced that, and that's going okay. I thought the other one was a transformer, but it turned out not to be. But at least not at that stage. I put a new lamp in, but perhaps I haven't quite made the connection. So I've got to look at that this morning and get that one sorted out. The other thing that I did while I was in the loft, and this is where the perhaps confusion was, I looked at the extractor unit that operates the bathroom extraction for the shower, and it was so mucky and gungy that it had stopped working anyway. So I pulled that out and I've replaced that, and I've got that up and working, but not electrically. It's going nicely, but I've got to put the new trunking in on that, the extractor bit from the bathroom to the unit, and then from the unit to the eaves. So I've got, it came as a kit, and I've just got to see to that, and that will put that one right, hopefully. And then just tidy the loft up where I've been disturbing the fiberglass, and make sure that the pots go over over the downlighters to keep the heat away from the fiberglass and anything else. So that's it, mate. Nothing much else going on. I hope today I'm going to do just one or two bits up in and off, just to check the one light out and get that going. And I want to try to cut the grass. It's all come back to nice and green all over now. I did have some browny bits here and there, or beigey bits, whatever, but it seems that it's come back and it's looking as though it could do with a trim, you know, not too heavy, but just to sort of level it up a bit. So I'm going to have a shot at that today. Hopefully around about lunchtime it should be dry enough. We're not expecting rain down here, are we, today? So hopefully that'll be that. I wonder what's going to happen at the cricket. We've got to get 6 wickets, I think, in the day. I think, did they say there are 90 overs or 100 overs to go or something like that? And they want about 300 and something, I think, something after that start. But I might even get a look at that if I get all the jobs done. I don't think I'll be seeing much of it somehow, but never mind, we'll try. All right, Dennis, that's about where we are. And I don't think I have anything more much to say. June, of course, watched Pole Dark as Joyce does, and I had to suffer that last night. not one of my favourites, I must admit. But I did see the international boxing that came on. I think it came on about 10 o'clock on Sky. I don't know if it was live or whether it was a recording, but they put a couple of fights on between 10 o'clock and I think it was midnight when it eventually finished. But it was a good fight. The main event of the evening, which was the second one, that was a good one, and the first one, the bloke should never have entered in. He went into the fight with a gammy leg, and the knee was strapped up apparently, and that was against the rules, and they had to take the strapping off. And of course, he then had only one leg to fight on. Really, he got walloped, and in the end, they stopped the fight. Quite rightly so. But they say the second fight was a good one. It was quite entertaining. Anyway, there we are, Dennis. Hope to see you soon. Take care and enjoy going up the club and doing your shopping and whatnot today. I'm sure it'll be dry and hopefully you get parked up all right. So hope to see you in a week's time. Meantime, a very good morning to you, John. We look forward to Friday when Neil will join both of us, and we'll put the world to right then. Meantime, enjoy your week, Dennis. Love to Joyce. Keep well, and see you next Monday. M0BAW now just listening for your final. Please go ahead, Dennis.
Yes, M0BAW G3OCIBK. Okay, Don, yeah, all okay, all understood now about the extractor fan, yeah. Well, as I said earlier, you know, some of these electrical bits, you're best to go out and buy another one and then just put it in its place. Otherwise you can be, you know, mucking around all over the place with them, you know. Yeah, what else? The cricket, yeah, I was going to watch the cricket. Yeah, we haven't got Sky, but I got it on an iPad, but I didn't bother because I was going to watch the summary at 7 o'clock, but of course we had the power cut then, so I missed it. So I was a bit disappointed. I'll have a look on the iPad, see the result so far, and see if I can pick it up tonight, see how it goes tonight. Yeah, we've got a birthday coming round, the twins, our twins, their birthday's coming, they're 60, would you believe, Tom? Oh dear, makes me feel old, when his kids are 60 years old, you know what I mean? So they're going to have a bit of a party to do, so we'll get something, we're going to that anyway, so. But one of the things we are going to, we're going to a cricket match, a Christmas present from the youngest boy, Nicholas. We're going to Edgbaston, and he's bought tickets for us to go there. For the first time, they're going to do the afternoon and evening game. It's in the, I think, I'm not sure who we're playing against, so I'll have to look that up and see. But we're going to be there for lunchtime, and then there's food right the way through the evening, and right the way until we finish. So I'm looking forward to that. That's down the line, but we're looking forward. That should be good. That should be done. Look about the extractor and the other bits and pieces. I hope they all sort themselves out, and I'll talk to you next Monday and keep a note of what we've done. Yeah, love to tune, and hope everything goes well with the hospital for her and you, Don. And don't work too hard. Take it easy. GCOCI signing with M0BAW and GCOCI is now going QRT. Cheers, Don. Bye-bye.
Yeah, okay, Dennis. So just before you go, I had an appointment with my eye specialist on Tuesday, and he's so pleased with the performance of the eye since he did the cataracts that I don't have to use any medication any longer, and I go back to see him in 6 months. So that was a good bit of the week. I thought you might like to know that. I'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.
Yeah, cheers, Don. You have to wear glasses, Don, go.
Yeah, I do wear glasses. I've got bifocals, and I don't really need them for the television, but I do need them for reading from time to time. If the light is very good, I don't need them. I can read the newspaper quite easily if the light is good. But if the light is out of sunlight and ordinary lighting indoors and whatnot, I need the bifocals to read a newspaper. Go.
Yes, okay, Don. Yeah, I've got a pair for reading. That's all. I just bought them in the chemist. It's not right, is it? Like we all get belts of power, and we get a shock and this, that, and the other. So we all sort of do silly things, I suppose.
Here, Dave, you can flog him some 6146s.
I could do, yeah, but I learnt my learning curve on the 902s and that, where not to put my fingers when the power were on, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah. Well, I do. Yeah, we all had stuff like that, 902, 101, 101 ZDs, and they were so forgiving, and I was green as grass when I started, but I've never blown a rig up, and I've done some daft things, and I've had some antennas plugged into the back of them that had no rights to be plugged in the back, which I found out, but I never blew one up, because I was very, very careful when I introduced anything into it. He's obviously tuned it up and it's whacked everything out. He's put it on a carrier, hasn't he, on AM or FM or something, and whacked full power into it, and then it started slowly trying to turn it down with it on a carrier, and boom, off it goes. What a sad tale. Lovely radios they are.
Alan, the reason I didn't offer him the 6146s is for the simple reason, if I said to him, well, you've got to neutralise them when you put them in, what the hell was going to happen if you were trying to do that? I bet he wouldn't know how to neutralise valves.
You can't tell nobody how to do that. They don't understand it, can you?
Oh, sorry, Alan and Roy, you both doubled, sorry.
Yeah.
I was asking if he'd got a HF rig before the one he bought from you.
No, I don't know, Roy. I don't know what he had before, I'm sure.
Well, it certainly neutralised the radio.
Didn't he, Terry?
I'm going to pull the big switch and get the washing done. So, very good morning, everyone. Beautiful sunshine now, looking good. G4GCQ now closing.
Yeah, see you later, Roy. There's not a cloud in the sky from up here. 73's, Roy.
73's right. I'm going to duck out as well, because I've got to take Linda to the doctor's surgery. So I'm going to make a move. So we'll catch you all tomorrow. And thanks for joining again, Terry. I'll try and remember. I know the voice. I just remember the call sign. See you all. G0TLR. Bye-bye. Yeah. I'm not sure. Roy's on there. I've not got his call. I've not spoke to him. So next time we're on, I'll get... if you're still there, Roy, just let me have your call sign. I'll just tell you where I am. But if not, I'll catch you next time. G4WNW. Have a good day, lads.
It's all right, Terry. I'm always on, but I'm more a shortwave listener. The call is George 4, George, Charlie, Quebec.
G4TCQ, and I'm in Rushton, the same as David, LJG, so we're both in Northamptonshire. Go ahead.
Lovely, alright Roy, fine. Well, I'm Terry, and G4 West Northwest. I'm over in Burton Wood, near Warrington, probably about, 15 miles away from Frank, somewhere around there. We'll talk again anyway, Roy, and have a good day. G4WNW.
I did the square bashing in Padgate, go ahead.
Yes, Green Lane was where my wife lived, and I did all my coursing down Green Lane, and I taught her to drive on Padgate Camp over.
Rightio, 73.
73 gentlemen from G0DMH, Loughborough, North Leicestershire. 93.
Well, I'll tell about out because
something about a name. Go ahead again.
The things have come to fruition on eBay, Dave, so we'll catch you further down, folks. G4PPW.
I'll see you another day, and I'm going to sign now and all, because more relations are here, so I'll say 7-3s everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Or G4 London Japan Golf going QRT.
Get back 73 to you, gentlemen, from G0DMH. Good morning.
Morning, it's all yours, dear boy. Cheers.
I haven't listened on something or whether if it's still open during the day in this country, I have no idea. But I haven't, as I said, I haven't been listening. So that's the gen on that side. Things have been pretty quiet on the radio-wise and work as well as I suppose on this side of things. So I'll pass it straight on to you, Mike, there, and hopefully Chris and yourself reasonably well. GW4XSX, MW0CBD on the group?
Yes, okay, Will. Hang on. Right, I'd shifted our frequency just slightly. I must have touched it with the microphone lead. From GW4XSX, return to the group. Yeah, we're okay. I got a bad tooth again, a loose tooth. So I'm hoping that it'll put itself right and won't have to go and have it out, but I might have to by the look of it. Other than that, we're all okay. And well, we didn't have any rain yesterday. We had a few spots, but we didn't have any rain of any consequence. And you know, it's brightening up here. I can see blue sky, so that's not so bad. So Glenn, if it's coming your way, yes, it is coming your way. So you're going to get some nice weather, even if it's only a short spell. So there we are. Anyway, I'm going to make this my final, and go and get some breakfast, and then walk the dog. I haven't walked the dog this morning. I usually do it early, but I was up late last night, well, until the early hours of this morning, watching the ladies' football. So and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And they've got through to the semi-final, so absolutely brilliant. They beat France last night, so that was equally good. I better shut up. To you, Glenn, I wish you all a very good morning from GW4XSX. Cheers all. GW4XUE.
Yeah, morning there, Dave. I'll let you in case you can have to say to Mike before he goes. Cheers to you there, Mike. You take it then, Dave, and put it on to me.
Yeah, from GW4XUE. I wonder if what's the latest news on the boat then, Mike? Over. Well, I went up to see him and took the anti-fouling up for him to anti-foul it, but he's got it up in the air. Be a lot easier. I said if I said be spare with it, he said, good God, £47 for a small tin like that. I said, yeah. I said it's pretty pretty expensive stuff. Anyway, they haven't started it yet, but I'm going to ring him tomorrow or the day after and say, well, look, it needs to be done fairly soon, because I've only got just over a month left, haven't I?
I should have brought you down a fox, Mike.
Throw me a what?
I should have brought you down a fox to catch the fowl.
Yeah. Aye, quite. Anyway, I better not say no more. Back to you, Dave. Yeah, you want to use a Dulux weather shield, Mike. It's a lot cheaper. I painted my front steps with it. It's had 2 coats and it's lasted well. Yeah, I probably need another coat next year now, but it's lasted about 3 years. It's amazing. But what that will do to the environment, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, all the best. Have a good day anyway. All noted. And back to you then, Glenn, from GW4X3.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, and cheers to you there, Mike. There was somebody tuning up, just a short burst. I wonder if somebody wants to join us. We'll see in a minute anyway. Yeah, okay, nothing much else from me really, but I'll stay around for a couple of overs anyway. Will and Dave, I want to ask you both a question. The Welsh word Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta, GWID, or Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta Delta, GWIZ, or GWIZ, what does it mean? What does it mean? I'll give you first shot at it, Will. That is Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta, or Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta Delta. What does the word mean, Will, over?
Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta Delta Gwynedd is. Are you on about Gwynedd, the county Gwynedd, over?
No, it's a name. I knew a fella years ago, and his name was Gwiz or Gwyd. Gwiz or Gwyd. And it was spelled, I think it was spelled Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta. That's Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta, but it might have been Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta Delta. A man's name, Wilbur.
Well, Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta Delta is the Welsh name for a goose, over?
Well, there's a goose. You say goose as in what we have for Christmas, over?
Yeah, Golf Whiskey Yankee Delta Delta is Welsh, or in English it's a goose. What do you think, Dave, over?
Yeah, from GW4XUV, good morning, Will. Yes, I agree with you there. But it's got a little roof above the W, so it's, instead of saying Gwiz, you say Guiz. Oh, you extend the letter, you know. Guiz is a goose, yeah. But I'm not sure about a man's name though. I never heard a man called a goose before. From GW4XUV.
Yeah, okay. Well, this man, his name is Gwyd Jones. That's what we used to call him, Gwyd Jones, and I'm fairly certain it was spelled with one D, G-W-Y-D. And I was talking to somebody yesterday about him, and I suddenly thought, what's the name mean? Because I've never come across it anywhere else, but he lived in Newtown, and like I say, Gwyd, he always went as, not Gwyn, but Gwyd. So I wonder, is it just a name, or has it got a meaning with one D, I wonder, Dave, over?
Yeah, probably it's a shortened version of a longer name, but I can't think of the long name, I'll be honest with you. GW4XUV.
Yeah, it could be something like Gwithian, I suppose, could it? Gwithian, what do you think?
Well, there's a Gwion. There are some names which we're not very familiar with, you know. I mean, it's like my name now, David, now it's common as luck, isn't it? But there are quite a few old Welsh names about, and it depends on his age, really. Some of these very, very old Welsh names are coming back, like Gwion, for example, you know, from GW4XUV.
Yeah, okay, you doubled with each other, and you handed over at the same time. So there we are. So I got almost everything from you, Dave, and I got some from you, Will. But go ahead again, Will, because I didn't get everything from you. Go ahead, Will, again, what you were saying. I did hear you mention goose again, but go ahead again.
Yeah, well, as I said, when you re-spelled it the second time, then I got it right. The way you spelled it correct. But I put it down as GW. I left a space then between the Y and the double D. I was expecting to hear a 0 or a 3 coming in between at the call time. That's how I missed it out the first time, Glenn. Over from MW0CBD.
Yeah, I understand, yes. Good, when I look at it, yeah, that's right, GW0YDD, yes, there we are. That's it. No, I was just interested, that's all, because I got some lovely Welsh names. I mean, our two granddaughters, one is Rhiannon Wen, and the other one's Bethan. And Rhiannon Wen, don't see many of those around. Rhiannon, yes, but not many Rhiannon Wens. So, there we are. Anyway, on to you there, Dave.
From GW4XUE, yes, that's right, Rhiannon. I had it written down on the last board I had, but it's gone now. Anyway, another possibility is it could have been Gwyneth, Gwyn, but he shortened it to Gwyd. But that doesn't help a lot, does it? For the English people that he knew, probably Gwyneth is a bit of an awkward one, isn't it? What on earth are you going to call yourself? I mean, Rhiannon, my niece, they called her Lucy, just because they couldn't get used to non, you see. So they called her, people in work called her Lucy. Well, it's ridiculous, isn't it, really? But there we are, she accepted that, but there are so many English people working where she was. There we are. Oh, there we are. And, okay, back to you then, Glenn. That's all I can offer there, really. It's been pouring with rain in Carmarthen. It's trying to clear up here. But we might have a little bit of sun later on by the look of it. It's trying its best to come out, but it's very, very grey and gloomy looking. And, we had the family yesterday as well, and we're having them tonight again. There's a big barbecue going on tonight now. We'll be 12 for a barbecue, and that's it then. They're going home. Everybody's going home. My goodness. And I think we'll be on holiday then from GW4XUE.
From GW0JI. Let me just check on the Dublin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to make this the final anyway. Well, you didn't shut that gate. It's pouring down here now. You've let it through. It's pouring down. So there we are. Well, I think I might have mentioned before, Dave, and when I was in school, in the same class as me, the class of 30 of us in the grammar school, there was a David Glyn Jones, and me, Thomas Glyn Jones, and another lad called John Glyn Jones. So it went as Glyn Tom, Glyn Di, and Choo Choo. And I hated being called Tom when I was a kid. I couldn't stand it. I hated it. But went to that school and grew up. Well, I didn't mind anymore, but nobody calls me Tom anymore. Just the odd old schoolmate I come across, which is very rare these days. But other than that, I've always gone as my second name is Glenn. At home and everything, I was always called Glenn. So there we are. I don't know. The strange thing is, my brother was John Edward Jones. Oh, he's John Edward Jones, and he goes as John. So why they should use his first name and my second name, I don't know. There must be some logic there somewhere. I have no idea, but there we are. Okay, I wish you all 7-3. I'll say good morning to all the shortwave listeners, and I'll put it around to you there, Will, and I'll leave you with Dave there. Take care. Have a good day. Catch you tomorrow morning. GW0JI.
Bye all. Cheers, Glenn.
Yeah, cheers, Glenn. GW0JI, W0CBD. All the best, Glenn. Catch you further down there. And I'll stay on just for a few minutes more with Dave there. Just to see what happens there anyway. And okay, as regards to the...
And much the same as you, Dennis, blue skies with all mic placements and so on. But I've never recorded a church organ, but I've recorded my own voice in the church. I think I told.
Yeah, from GW4XUE, you will.
Jesu, from Foyer's Requiem, and that was actually played on the. I think it was called the Epilogue or something like that. Late night just before BBC shut down, they put a program on called the Epilogue or Thought for the Day or something, and the Reverend, I forget his name, George Austin, the Reverend George Austin, who was a vicar at the church, had to do it one evening, and he decided to play my party piece as an introduction to his late night sermon. So I know about that, and that was recorded on a ferrograph.
And I had a beautiful voice. Before I got hairs under my arms, I had a beautiful voice. G0GSR M0SPZ. I'm just wondering when Peter's going to call in. Are you around, Peter? G0GSR.
I am here, Frank. Can you hear me?
I can. You're running low power.
Yeah, I'll switch the amp on. Morning, Dave. Morning, Frank. MW0GYV.
Yeah, morning. Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Very nice down here in sunny South Wales. Looks like we're going to have a decent day after a very wet night. Quite warm here.
Yeah, Roger. It's not too bad here, actually. Well, almost wall-to-wall sky, blue sky. 15 degrees. It's 16 degrees. So still a little bit chilly, but very, very nice weather. Very clear. Good seeing weather, as my mate Fred would have said. Okay, so let's get the ordered. Peter, then me, and then Frank. So round to you, Frank. G0GSR in the group, M0SPZ. G0GSR, well, good morning to Peter. Well, it's 18 degrees here and fairly clear. A few cumulus clouds. Don't see any cumulonimbus clouds today, Peter, but you probably got some over there. But yeah, I can just imagine Dave singing quite, can't you? But that was quite good. The recording I did was nothing serious. I just had one tape recorder and one microphone. It was only mono, nothing clever. And that was the Ferrograph Series 7 as well. I suppose if you were doing it nowadays, you would very heavily mic the church, wouldn't you? You could put some close-up mics and some halfway down the aisle, and then do a mix between the two of them to get the right level of reverb. But I suppose it's easy nowadays. If you've got 10 or 20 microphones, then there's no problem, is there? MW0GYV for you, Peter, from G0GSR.
Yeah, MW0GYV to the group the first time really. I have been listening a little while. I used to be a campanologist when I was sort of a teenager really. And I think the one in London you're talking about, the Bell Foundry, is the Whitechapel Bell Foundry. Been there. I was quite good at making stays because we broke quite a few stays. We used to ring in the local church mainly. One of our teachers, I think he was a geography teacher, but he was interested in bell ringing, and then we got involved with it. Good fun, especially when a stay got broken and one of the girls disappeared up to the roof. That happened a couple of times. So yeah, good fun. But the Whitechapel Bell Foundry is very interesting, and they would make quite a nice range of bells. And we went down there. We were collecting a set of handbells at the time, and there was a visit organised for the little group that I was in. So anyway, I don't want to go on reminiscing again today. That's a fault of mine. M0SPZ MW0GYV.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, MW0GYV with G0GSR, M0SPZ returning. Well, as we get older, we're all reminiscing, aren't we? I think that's part of the process of getting old. It helps actually because it reinforces the memories, doesn't it? If you sort of bring up old memories and re-memorize them, I think they last longer that way. So nothing wrong with a bit of reminiscing, Peter. As regards to church and reverbs, there are certain buildings, Frank and Peter, that it's difficult to stay in tune in. I don't know whether you've ever heard this before, but there are some buildings where the resonances are such that it becomes difficult for choirs to sing in tune. Now, they all sing in tune with each other, but the actual choir either goes flat or sharp to the pitch that they should be singing in. And it's to do with the resonances in the building. Fascinating subject, actually. And they reckon that a lot of church buildings the actual dimensions of them were harmonically related. You know, the transepts and the aisles and the various other sort of layout of the church were harmonically related and sort of not, I was going to say designed for a particular sort of music pitch, but they were particularly responsive to certain keys that choirs and things and the monks and things would be singing in. So fascinating subject. As regards to bell ringing, yeah, I did bell ringing as well, campanology. I never got past Bob Minor though, the simplest of the changes. It was I could never remember who was ringing after me. You have to sort of in Bob Minor, I think the rule was you follow the bell that followed you last time, and I always used to lose my place and used to get a sort of a clanging of is it a cacophony or something of bells when you get out of step with everybody else. There we go. Stay breaking, never broke a stay. We got quite a big bell at the Priory. The tenor bell, I think, was getting on for a ton in weight. So it was a big bell to start swinging about. And in fact, I never actually could manage to ring the bell up. It was too much like hard work to get that one up. My bell was number 4 usually, and I used to get 12 and 6. Here we go, reminiscing. I used to get 12 and 6 for ringing the bells at a wedding, and I only got half a crown for singing in the choir. So I used to sing in the choir, and then run down, beat the bride out of the church, and run up the bell tower, and then join the bell ringers and earn my 12 and 6pence. G0 GSR in the group, M0SPZ.
I just can't compete with that. G0 GSR never have rung a bell in his life, I'm afraid. But Peter, you need to explain what, or Dave perhaps, or Peter can, what a stay is. Presumably it's one of the ropes, and a stay holds something in place. So presumably it's not the rope that you pull on to ring the bell. Is it something else, Peter, over?
Oh, stay prevents the bell from. You don't want the bell to go around 360 degrees. You want to ring it through sort of from vertically upwards to vertically downwards, really, or a bit beyond it. And you kind of hold it just with the bell mouth up while you wait your turn to pull the bell down. The stay is there to stop the bell going beyond too far, really. And but if you really wang it down, you break the stay. I got a feeling they were made out of ash. Was it ash, Dave? I can't remember. I don't remember too much about it. I just remember the girls disappearing up into the roof. That happened twice to me. I can remember the name of the girls. Well, I could, I think, if I really worked at it. But I don't remember much about the actual bell ringing at all. I remember the visits we made. We used to make a few trips with it as well. It started at school, after school activity. It's better than the choir, as Dave said. And I continued for a while after I finished school. I left school at 16, and I think I did it until I started driving, and then I kind of lost interest. I just didn't go anymore. But there we go. And talking about memories, I was talking with Colin a little bit after our QSO yesterday. And of course, we know the same sort of areas. Although he's a lot younger than we are, a lot younger than myself. But he still knew some of the people that I knew and some of the places. He's talking about going fishing, and it turns out many of the places he's talking about going to, the places I used to go to when I was a very young teenager. I was fishing till I was about 14 or 15, and the last time I went with my dad actually was down to Evesham, and I just stopped going. So I still had my kit, which I carried around with me for a while, but it's gone now. We junked that some time ago. So because of course Redditch was famous for fishing tackle, so a lot of people fished there. And I was talking to him about one particular club in that area in Worcestershire. It's quite a big, very active club, and it's called Ashford Bank Angling Association. Ashford Bank. It's been around for years and years. My grandfather was a member, but it's on a ridgeway, so there's no actual river or stream or even pond at Ashford Bank. There's no fishing there at all. As I said to Colin yesterday, it was just a septic tank, or a static water tank, I should say, by a playground, and there's one moated old house there. I think the motor's filled in now, but apart from that, nothing. M0SBZ, MW0GYV.
Yeah, Roger, it's a shame, isn't it? MW0GYV, G0GSR, M0SBZ returning. Yeah, I've been to places and I look and think, hang on, I remember when that was like the GM plant at the chalk cutting in Dunstable. That's just not there anymore. It's a housing estate. And pretty grotty looking housing estate it is as well. And when you drive past it brings back all sorts of memories. But Evesham, I remember Evesham Micros. I think I might have mentioned that once before. I remember a company called Evesham Micros, and they used to make or did they? Was it the Atari computer? Evesham Micro. They used to sell micro computers or home computers, and I think they specialised in the Atari range of computers. The stays were, I believe they were made of ash, as you say, Peter. It needs to be a strong sort of wood with a lot of give. If it's too brittle, the stays break really quickly. If the stay breaks, Frank, if you imagine the bell with its mouth downwards, you need to ring it backwards and forwards until it balances upside down, and that's where you hold it until it's your turn to ring the bell again. And as Peter says, if you pull that too hard, the bell comes whistling down again, goes all the way over, right up to the stay, goes over sort of top dead, breaks the stay, and then goes over top dead centre and winds itself round the bell rope, round and round the big wheel. And of course that means that the bell rope gets wound up and disappears up through the little hole in the roof where the bell rope comes through. And we always used to joke that if you break a stay and forget to let go of the sally, or the two bits, there's the tail end, I believe, of the rope, and the sally. The sally's the sort of the fabric bit in the middle of the bell rope. And if you forget to let go of that when you break a stay, you get pulled through the little hole in the belfry roof. G0GSR, M0SBZ.
G0GSR, just trying to imagine what the stay may be. I'll have to have a look on the old internet and see if I can find a picture of a bell system with this stay on it. So I was originally thinking it might be a rope, but it's obviously a solid piece of wood, isn't it, that's doing that? But yes, I remember Evesham Micros. I think they were actually based in Evesham as well. But I think they used to sell things like peripherals and things, and it was in the era of the BBC Micro and the Atari and the Commodore. What was the... I don't know, my brother used to have one. I can't remember what type it was in those days, but I never had such a thing. But I'm sure I bought stuff from Evesham Micros in those days. I think I bought disk drives for the BBC Micro from them. But bell ringing, no. Sorry, got no experience of that, and can't really talk on that subject at all. But certainly in the Evesham Micros. W0GYV in the group, G0GSR.
I'm busily writing down a list of towns, because I know is a village that I remember very well from being a boy. And you said I know a few times there, Dave, but I spell it A-Y-H-N-O, I think, is it? Or is it A-Y-N-H-O? I can't remember now. But it's on the way down to St Albans. We used to go that way, always. Stratford, Edgehill, Banbury, Bicester, Ino, and so on. Hempstead, Berkhamsted, St Albans. There we go. Something like that anyway. I may have got the villages in the wrong order, or the towns in the wrong order. Evesham Micro, yeah, that was they made computers. Well, they assembled computers, I should say. I know at least 2 or 3 people that had those, and I just about remember those being advertised. But I don't think they're around anymore. Some time ago, that is. Must be 20 years since I've seen those. My goodness me. Yeah, stays. It's from memory, making the damn things. It was quite a chore because they're quite big. And I'm not sure whether we built them up from 2 or 3 pieces of wood, but it was maybe, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 inches square cross section, And from memory, I mean, talking about sort of 16-year-old, and it seemed to be about 4 foot long. And I used to have to carry it from school up to the town on my bike, and then climbing the bloody tower to go and fit it on the bell. Used to rest the bells against the stay. That was the other thing. You could actually get the bell and rest it against the stay, ready for action. Otherwise, you couldn't really balance it with the bell mouth up. It's rather unstable. And the big bells do come down with a hell of a rate, and there's a hell of a pull on the bell rope. It's actually quite nice. And we used to muffle. We used to tie the hammer and ring them, because we weren't allowed to ring the bells when we were practicing. So you had to imagine the sound. You could hear this and all the clunk as it was going round and round. Happy days, and very dusty indeed. But there we go. So do you know I know, Dave? M0SBZ from MW0GYV.
M0CUU. 0GYV with G0GSR, M0SBZ returning. No, I don't, Peter. I've never been there. And I've been to a place called World End. There's a World End quite close by. And so I've been there, but I've never been to I know. As regards to the Evesham Micros, and you mentioned the Commodore 64, I was reading Wikipedia a few days ago actually, and reading about the Commodore 64 SID chip. I don't know whether you ever remember the SID chip. It was sound implemented something or other chip, and quite a lot of the synthesizer people rave about this chip. No longer manufactured, but it was almost a synthesizer on a chip. 3 oscillators, 3 filters, and I think ring modulation, all sorts of things on a chip, and way ahead of its time. And so if you want to read up about some stuff that you're not really interested in, look up the SID chip, that's Sierra India Delta, from the Commodore 64 range of computers, and be fascinated about how clever they were in those days. As regards to the muffled bells, I thought you were going to say they muffled the bells and then told everybody to say dong when they pulled the bell rope. But I've never heard fully muffled bells. Half muffled bells, of course, they go at funerals, or posh people's funerals anyhow, and that is a very eerie sound. You know, you get the ding, 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 and then you get the ding, 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 ding. It almost sounds like it's coming from the other side. Very spooky. And I think they did that at Princess Diane's wedding. The other thing that's fascinating is that when you ring the changes, on 8 bells, the number of changes is quite significant. The permutations, in fact, it's 8 factorial. And once you get up to 10 bells, it would take many days to ring all the changes. And if you go for the royal sort of set, 12 bells, it's impossible to ring them through. You can't ring all the changes on 12 bells, not in several people's lifetimes. So sort of fascinating. Right, or not, as the case may be. G0GSR in the group M0SBZ.
G0GSR, Colin's with us, so good morning to Colin. And I thought you could get a computer to do that nowadays, Dave, just to hit going and go and wind there and have your coffee, couldn't you? Yeah, remember the Vales PC from Evesham Micros, and of course we're talking about Colin's area, aren't we? M0CU, very good morning to you, Colin, from G0GSR.
Yeah, good morning all. Just joined. Morning, Frank, Peter, and you, David, of course. Good morning, M0CUU.
Yeah, taken over, Colin. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll say I'm not long joined, so I'm catching up with topic of conversation. Evesham Micros, yeah, they went bust, and they did a lot of people, I think, over.
Yeah, oh, did they? A lot of people got caught out, did they? Anyhow, how are you feeling, Colin? Go ahead.
With my hands, David.
Ha.
Sorry, I couldn't. I couldn't resist that. Yeah, I'm okay. soreness is subsiding now, which is really good. I'm just taking it easy. I had a little bit of a play yesterday with my other little Kenwood here. I wired that RE27 microphone up via an iBox to it, so I'm playing with that at the minute on VHF, Dave.
Yeah, Roger, it sounds like you got some stuff to do. That's always important, isn't it? Okay, look, let's work out the pecking order. Peter, me, Frank, Colin. Peter, me, Frank, Colin. So round to you, Peter. Say hello. Hello, Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
Peter may have disappeared in a cloud of green smoke. I don't know. Are you there, Peter? MW0GYV. Are you there, Frank?
No, I'm still here, but Peter's disappeared. He's still on the web, according to the web SDR, but he's obviously been called away, Dave.
Yeah, okay. Well, you take it then, Frank, and then pass it round to Colin, and Colin, by the time you finish, Peter may well be back. So round to you, Frank.
Yes, we'll carry on. G0GSR. Well, hope you're glad you're okay, Colin, anyway. And you got an RE27. I wonder whether you're using that with a preamp of some sort. And what was the Kenwood radio you mentioned? Quite a nice microphone. That presume it is the Electro Voice RE27 and not something amateur. M0CUU in the group G0GSR.
M0CUU. No, not using it through a preamp. I used to use it through the TS990 I had, and of course that's long gone now. Well, a month ago anyway, as you're all aware. So it sat here on its boom, and yesterday I thought, right, what can I do with that? Because I could either box it up and sell it, or put it to use. And I had an iBox here from W2IHY, is it? So I sat and I wired it through the iBox, and I'm running it, and the reports I've had, it's a Kenwood TS2000 X-Ray, Frank, which I use upon VHF, UHF, and I've just been playing with that, and it seems to be working fantastic. I haven't tried it on sideband yet, but that's to be done at some point, VHF sideband, that is. So yeah, it was on the boom, and I thought, yeah, I'll sit here for 5 minutes, and then it gave me something to do. And I haven't put a foot switch in because I don't like them. Now, going back a couple of years ago off eBay, I bought this really nice stainless steel on-off push button, and I've grafted it into the desk, and it's really, really good. So I have a PTT on my desk, which is just a little stainless steel button, which measures about 15 millimeters across, Frank, over.
Yeah, I think I've seen the kind, Colin. They're sort of waterproof things. How they've seen them outdoors, they're quite nice. I've got a handheld PTT switch. I don't like the foot switch. Anyway, Peter is back with us, so I'm going to put it over to Peter of MW0GYV in the group G0GSR.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. I had a slight issue there. I think my battery's just gone flat in the microphone, so I had no output. And then I switched on to this thing, the KX3, and I had no output. And I thought, oh, I've dropped my transmitter, I've dropped my PA. Well, I'd forgotten to turn the power up on the KX. I can go down to 0 watts on this thing. Anyway, I'm sorry I missed all that over, but I was about to say, Ino is a little village that used to be on the I think it's the A41. It's just out of Banbury. It used to be after Banbury on the way down to Bicester. So it's down that sort of area. It's a small village, very, very typical of that very mellow sand. It's limestone, isn't it? Sandstone, limestone. No, it's not. It's ironstone, I think. There was that large iron, well, a quarry iron. They dug iron out of the ground over there. Iron carbonate, I think it was. M0SPZ, MW0GYV.
Yeah, Roger. MW0GYV in the group M0SPZ. Is that sort of near Tetbury? Is that the way? Is it down that way, Peter? Break.
Now, come again.
Is it near is it Tetbury? No, Bybury. Bybury. Is it down near Bybury, Roger?
No, it's about 5 miles out of Banbury on what was the A41. It's now on the, I can't read it. I've got my map out now, which I can't read. B4100. No, B4100. What was the A41? It was the main road between Stratford, Bicester. We used to go Stratford, Edge Hill, where we used to stop to let the car cool down, then Banbury, and then go down to Adderbury, and then carry on. Then instead of going down to Oxford, you turn left. Left for how I know. I know Bicester, Aylesbury, Tring. I missed out Tring before. Berkhamsted, Hemel Hempstead. There we go. So it's up near Banbury. It's sort of midway between Banbury and Bicester and Buckingham and Chipping Norton. How about that?
Yeah, Roger. Yes, a very good morning, John. G3VZF, M0SBZ returning to the group. Right, now let me just put this in my logbook. G3VZF. Right, very good morning, John. Right, so as regards to the RE27, yeah, I believe that's the neodymium one, isn't it, that's got a higher output than the RE20. So you may, well, obviously you're getting away without using a preamp on it, Colin. So that's all good, and I wish I had such a nice microphone. Mind you, this Procaster's pretty good. I'm very, very pleased with it. I think you know that Frank and I have got similar setups. Right, so let's put it round to John, and the order is now Peter, me, John, Frank, Colin. Peter, me, John, Frank, Colin. But I'm sure I shall mess it up. G3VZF in the group, M0SPZ.
M0SPZ in the group, G3VZF. Good morning, Frank, Peter, Dave, and Colin, I think, are the people on today. And I've written a big F on the pad here, so I'll try to pass it on correctly, Dave. Just been listening to the conversation rolling away. Certainly, yes, that. Actually, there was something else about Isham, wasn't it? It wasn't just that they got into financial problems. I don't know, there was something else associated with, I don't know. That's not saying anything. It might be, what's the correct word? Slanderous. but yes, a lot of people lost money over that. Ainho, Peter. Not that far away from here. Beautifully established church, just right high where a church should be in a village. I think its only other claim to fame is that it's a railway junction as well, Ainho Junction. Otherwise it's probably not all that well known. Very, very pleasant setting though, particularly when the sun's out. The church catches the sun really nicely. We're having a quiet day today. Had 2 hospital appointments yesterday. Unusual to have hospitals open on a Sunday, and very easy driving, very easy parking. You could imagine quite different from a hospital during the week. So that was rather good. Get them out of the way if we can, which leaves us only 2 during this coming week, which is actually quite a few compared to normal. But we're both okay, both struggling along at it. It looks like it, I don't know about you, Chaz, but here it has the makings of possibly quite a nice day. Not exactly what you might expect on the last day of July, but a damn sight more like July than April, as it's been recently. Over to you, Frank, G0GSR, G3VZF.
Yeah, okay, John, G0GSR. Well, it's quite a nice morning here also. I think we're going to have a few showers today. But it's quite pleasant at the moment, about 18 degrees. And Colin, that microphone, I would hang on to it if I were you. That's RE27. I would definitely say that's a keeper. It's probably the most desirable microphone for amateur radio or anything else. And no, it's not too good for amateur radio. Some people would tell you that it's absolutely ideal. It doesn't matter about the frequency response, but the other characteristics make it absolutely an ideal microphone. The lack of this bass response when you close talk it, off-axis response and everything, it's just got everything you really want from a microphone. Dave and I have got the cheaper version of that, and they do suffer a little bit from the proximity effect, but that one's extremely good, so that's a keeper, Colin. M0CUU in the group G0GSR.
Okay, now, this could be awful. I've just put the Kenwood on. It's the first time it's ever been used on HF, ever. I've owned it from you. So this is the RE27. It probably sounds pretty terrible, over.
It just needs a bit of equalisation. Colin needs a bit more HF on it, that's all.
Okay, it might be, I'm looking at it now, it might need a little of the processor taken out. It's driving the radio 100 watts, doing what it should do. ARC levels are fine, but that is the RE27 on the Kenwood, over.
Yeah, it's a little bit bass heavy. You need some EQ on it to reduce the bass and increase the top, and it'll be fine. I can't hear the background noise, though. What was the background noise, Colin, over?
It's the window open. Yeah, I've turned the processor off. Has that made it any different, over?
Yeah, it's not altered the tonality, but the background noise is gone. You've obviously got a bit less gain there now, over.
Ah, right, okay. Well, I'd say ARC levels are where they should be, and I'm about 18 inches from the mic at the moment, but it's talking the radio up well. But I have never ever messed with this radio on HF, ever. It's never been on air, over.
Well, it'll sound the same, of course, on VHF and HF, won't it? I don't know what the facilities you've got there for equalisation, but it needs a bit less bass and a bit more top, and it'll sound absolutely brilliant, Colin, over.
Well, there is the EQ in the rig, but I just can't remember how that works. I'll have to go into the menus and have a look at that, Frank. But, yep, just my little ditto, and I was playing with it yesterday. Just give me something to do yesterday afternoon.
I thought you'd be oiling your rod.
The rods are in the back of the car waiting to go, Peter.
If you don't oil them, you won't catch any fish, will you?
No, I do. The 1.4x4 we got here, I put my fishing tack in May, and it stays there then till October.
Yeah, but you've got to get your snake oil out. Better still, even hemp oil, isn't it? Hemp is good for fishing, I understand.
Oh, hemp's very good. Anyway, it's rented today, so that's my RE27. Obviously, you've heard it many times, Dave, on the 990, but the first time heard on the 2000. Now, again, first time I've ever used this rig on HF, over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, okay. Well, it's actually Peter's turn. Peter, you take her over and then pass it to me.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm losing my friend. I was having a bit of a chat there about this. I thought you might have taken up on the snake oil there, Dave, but yeah, I don't have any special microphones, Colin, so you'll have to put up with what I've got. But I can hear your phone going in the background quite well. I'm listening on the Kenwood fairly widely opened up on headphones, so I hear most things on this thing. M0SPZ, MW0GYV.
Yeah, Roger, MW0GYV in the group M0SPZ returning. Yes, okay, yeah, I agree, Colin, you need to, a little bit, it needs some more middle and top, I think, and it'll be fine. But, like Frank says, that is definitely a keeper microphone. That and the RE20. I think the RE20... the output is quite a lot lower than the RE27, if I remember rightly. But it's a good-looking microphone, and as Frank says, it's just ideal for amateur radio use and for announcing in general, I guess. John, the only thing you told us all about your the hospital being open on Sunday. What you didn't say was the outcome, John. So just. Fill us in on the diagnosis and so on. I think you were having trouble with your leg, weren't you? So just let me know what the outcome of all that investigation is, and then you can pass it round to Frank. G3VZF in the group, M0SPZ.
Just a quick one, chaps. I've been in the EQ and I've put it to... It was on bass boost. Is that any better, over?
Yeah, that's much better.
Yes. This is G3VZF. Yes, it was sounding a bit before like a KW2000 used to sound, but it's a lot more lively now with a bit of top put on it like that, Colin. So you've cracked it. Okay, well, thanks for the interest, Dave. Yesterday was just diagnostics, a CT scan and an MRI. And the MRI involved contrast-enhancing dye, so they had to try to find some of the wife's veins, but it was purely mechanics being done, I think. But it's very good to see the equipment being used 7 days a week. It's better value from the place. Maybe they're clearing up backlogs, because we had to wait quite a bit for the appointments. But it's really quite dodgy, because on Friday we go to discuss the results. And there was a question of them, by putting this back and back and back, whether in fact the results would have been analysed by Friday, but they reckon they will. But the actual medical appointments we both had were on Friday, where the doctor says, yes, you've got something wrong there in your leg. There's a oh dear, what did she describe? A hematoma. That sounds rather worrying, isn't that? The sort of thing which can cause a stroke, but she said it'll probably go down by itself. we have to see on that one. And the wife's been prescribed some new drugs which boots don't have. They're so unusual. So usual whirlwind week of things happening, Dave. But yes, I suppose you could have varicose veins maybe, and that described as a hematoma, but if I understand it right, there's always a risk of a stroke, but then we're all past our sell-by dates, I suppose. But yes, we're very impressed with yesterday. It's almost as soon as we walked in, they called my wife for an MRI, and they'd only just taken away when out came people from CT and said, Beryl Adams, and I said, look, she's just been hijacked by the MRI people. So she said, oh, don't worry, we'll snatch her straight from MRI. And so they did. It's about an hour altogether to do these things. I was quite impressed by and it was quite a busy area too. They obviously were running a full clinic, presumably just to help with backlogs, and that seems a very sensible thing for them to do. I can't remember anything about Aynhoe, Peter, you didn't mention it, but I can't think it's got anything other than this beautifully placed church with a very tall spire on it, and in the more mundane there is a point called Aynhoe Junction. Anyway, over to you, Fred. Very interesting listening to the talk about the campanology earlier, by the way. I'd often wondered how they did practicing. It must be really quite difficult to do, surely, because there's always already an offset between your motion and the actual ringing of the bell. It must be quite weird just to be listening to clunks or stuff or whatever. Interesting field of expertise. I know down in town they have a lot of bell ringing going on there, and naturally a lot of protests from some of the residents, but I guess that's been going on for years immemorial. G0GSR in the group, G3VZF.
G0GSR. Yeah, we talk about some strange things here, don't we, John? I don't think you'd hear it anywhere else on the bands. I've heard them practicing the bell ringing down in the town, and you can tell they're practicing because sometimes it sounds absolutely atrocious, but it's a very skilled thing, isn't it, to bell ringing. And I found out what this day is now. I did have a little look on the internet, so I had a little crafty look, and it's no wonder these things get snapped, is it? The amount of leverage that could be on this day is absolutely incredible. First, when I heard the term stay, I was assuming it was a kind of rope, because I normally associate stays with being ropes rather than solid wood. But I've seen exactly what he does now, so it's quite interesting. So I've learned something, certainly. And I don't know what happened to Eastern Micros. I didn't hear anything about the losses, etc., so I can't comment on that. But I think I remember driving past the industrial estate where they were based quite a few times. That must have been quite some time ago, after long since gone. But yeah, that microphone sounds okay now, Colin. It's much improved without the bass boost. It sounds quite flat and quite natural now, and absolutely excellent. And it's certainly not overkill for amateur radio. A lot of people will say it's too good, but it's got the best characteristics possible for amateur radio. And that's not the frequency response of it, it's the off-axis response and the good cardioid response, etc., and the lack of this bass proximity effect. That's absolutely ideal. Anyway, I think I'm going to go off and disappear and get myself a cup of coffee. The wife's already disappeared off out. She's gone to the doctor's and then she's gone to the daughter's. So that's me on my own for the rest of the day. So, going to think of something to keep myself busy, I'm afraid. Who do I pass it to? No idea. Colin, I think. M0CU in the group G0GFR.
Yeah, from M0CUU, okay, all copied. Apologise for the fan. It's that bloody whacking great power supply under the bench, if you can hear it. Do apologise. I'll move that today. It's getting on my nerves. That's something I can do. Have a look at and see if I can change the way the fan comes in, the thermostat setting on it, because it does nothing and it doesn't need to run at that rate or not, but it's doing so. So, yeah, well, that's my RE27 anyway. I've had it for about 5 years, this microphone now. And as I say, it was sat here gathering dust, and I thought, oh, I know what I can do. I can have a play, and obviously it's working okay. And I just hope the tonal qualities are better now. Since I've turned that bass boost off, it certainly it's dampened the rig a little. It's not driving so hard either. So with that, round to you, Peter. M0CUU, over.
MW0GYV. Yeah, I agree with Dave and Frank. It sounds much nicer now. I certainly can hear the fan. And I heard you had a clunk. You have to talk to Frank about clunks. He's got some good advice. And problem is, I'm going to put a different kind of indicator on my amp now, because sometimes I don't think it's coming on. It is. But there we go. Or change the fan. I changed the fans in my rigs. I've got all these low noise computer fans. They were in the amplifier. They were 110 volt fans, or 115 volt fans. Supposedly low noise, but they were really quite loud. Anyway, I changed the computer fans, and they only switch on when necessary as well. And they come on at slow speed first. The noisiest fan is actually in my transceiver in the Kenwood. I'm not going to change that. I shall leave that as it is. So you may be able to hear that. But there we go. A stay is what it says it is. It's actually to hold the bell in readiness for the next dong, if you like, or ding dong. So you're not supposed to use it as a stop. It's not a stop. It's a stay. So it's but we broke a few, and we had quite a few spares made up in the woodwork shop. So, and as for noise, people complaining, well, we had complaints even if we didn't have the blooming bells ringing, because they complained about the noise of the mechanism. But as the church was built in 1805, and the church bells were installed pretty well at the same time, they've been ringing since then. I think, tough luck. If you don't like it, move somewhere else. So there we go. And I forgot to tell you our local excitement. Yesterday, we suddenly heard these bang, bang, but it sounded like explosions. We couldn't figure out what it was. And then I saw my neighbour. We live in a cul-de-sac at the bottom. I noticed one of my neighbours was sort of looking out of the garden and pointing. And so I went up to find out what it was. I thought it was either explosions or car on fire, exploding the tyres, or fireworks or something like that. But that was in the morning, yesterday morning. I get to the top of the road, and there's a fire engine outside of one of my next door other neighbours' houses, about 50 metres or so away, and smoke pouring out the house. So they had a house fire, and they were trying to break the door down. They were using a sledgehammer and banging this PVC door. Do you know they could not break the door? In the end, they had to break the window. It had a glass, imagine a white PVC door with a big white window in it, with a semicircular top. They actually smashed that through, and then one of the firemen climbed through the window and tackled the house fire. I don't actually know what it was, whether it was a chip pan fire but I don't think the people were in. But anyway, suddenly saw them opening the windows upstairs, and the smoke was pouring out. So that was our excitement yesterday. And the second fire engine came. There were a lot of firemen there. The second fire engine came as well. And then later on we saw the door repairman was there repairing this window. So I'll just have to go and have a look and see what happened. there's an older couple lived there, and they'd been having a lot of work done in the house. There's actually still a skip in the front drive full of rubbish and old kitchens and stuff. So I knew they were having the patios replaced, but I didn't know, I think they had the windows replaced, but they had a good door. And Evesham Micros, yeah, my sister-in-law had a computer from them, and they just paid for a maintenance contract, and then they went bust, and the computer went belly up, and they were stuffed. So they live in Ulster. M0SBZ, MW0GYV.
Yeah, Roger. Yes, okay. Well, it is coffee time. MW0GYV in the group, M0SBZ returning. Okay, guys. Well, it's nice to hear you all. Thank you for all joining in this morning. And let me see. Thanks for Daz and Baz and Dave and Mark and all of the guys on the web SDR. Always nice to know you guys are listening to the nonsense we talk. And maybe it's a bit late today, but maybe we can talk about running out of helium. When you mentioned MRI scanners, John, I thought to myself, eventually that technology is not going to be available to us because evidently everybody's running out of helium. Right, okay, so I will pass it quickly to you, John. I'll say cheerio to everybody, and thanks for a very, very pleasant chat. G3VZF in the group, M0SBZ.
M0SBZ, G3VZF returning. Yeah, we'll meet that hurdle when we come to it, Dave. I mean, to some extent, what's happening is it could be stopped. Some of the hospital, I think, are keen to track on, not the least, but I think they're trying to stop some complications which may be coming up. But their original thing was they wouldn't do anything like this because she was going to die. We really objected to that and changed consultants in the hospital. And getting a much better treatment since then. And fingers crossed. There have been some bad signs on the last two MRIs. They're every 3 months, by the way, so we have our fingers firmly cut off that they don't progress as they appear to over the last 2 images. The back drive, by the way, over to Oxford, a little bit along the route maybe that you were talking about earlier, Peter, but it's a very pleasant cross-country drive from here to Oxford. It takes about an hour to do 30-odd miles, so there's no real motorway or anything, but on a day like yesterday, it really was just a pleasant tootle. I think they used to call that sort of drive, tootling. Right. Those PVC doors, I've seen people trying to get into those before now, Frank, and I guess it's the combination of the fact that the doors have a degree of give in them, plus the fact that they have those multi-slotted locks, bar locks, that mean they don't really have either a point where you can adjust them or a weak point where you can adjust them. But I'm surprised they couldn't get through with this sledgehammer. I'm surprised the glass was still in one piece. And they really had been trying to bash the door open with, gosh, exciting life. And I think that sort of thing does happen, doesn't it, where work's being done. We had a case like that last year where actually the fire ignited a gas cylinder. Gosh, what an explosion that was. It really did shake everybody. It wasn't not any direct experience of high explosives and whatever, and you see old film of bombs destroying houses or a row of houses. You've got no real idea, but this thing is effectively a bomb, particularly for an IED, I suppose, nowadays. It really did produce a lot of physical punch. Tremendous impact and shockwaves happening in the room. So, okay, that was a very nice day. It's like here with yourselves,
from about 4 o'clock onwards, and eventually it will be a few more days as well. So it gets hammered, this station, and of course with that huge antenna.
Take care everyone, and have a lovely, lovely day. And
an auto ATU, and
you can't just transmit into a high SWR without an earth or even a counterpoise. My counterpoise is 5 feet high and it's about 10 feet longer than the aerial. Anyway, let's put it back to you, Stuart, and see how you copy everyone. G8FC G3 Zulu Papa Alpha Bletchley.
G3ZPA Golf 8 Fox Charlie at Royal Air Force Gosford. Okay, Dave, well, you're the strongest. You've just got the edge 5 and 8 peaking 9, and both Tony and Alan, good morning to you, Alan, are both 5 and 8, 58 with me. But there does seem to be a blanket of noise, or should I say a dull roar on the frequency. But as I say, I don't know this radio at all. I had actually brought along my good old faithful Kenwood, my TS450 Sugar, in the event that I couldn't get any of this equipment to operate. But it looks like it's okay at the minute. But as I say, it's a case of learning to drive the radio. But I trust everybody's well anyway. Nice to hear you all on frequency there. And okay on the amusing story of the loading and plating of the aforementioned rig. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I think it's just basics, isn't it? And I don't think today's radio amateur examination goes anywhere near to loading and plating, does it? I'm not sure about that at all. It's been a long time since I did my RAE, and of course I went straight for my A license, never had a B call sign, only because I did my CW examination about 10 or 12 days before my RAE. I wanted to get that out of the way so I could concentrate on the RAE, which I was a little bit nervous about, I have to admit, but I shouldn't have been. Anyway, there we are. I'll pass it back over to Tony. Lovely day here at RAF Gosford. The sun is out. Not much activity. Got here just after 9 o'clock this morning and just finding my feel for the place. G0TPA with G3ZPA and G4PPW. G0TBI, correction. See, I'm so used to saying my own call sign. Golf 8 Foxtrot Charlie with Golf 0 Tango Bravo India on the microphone. Listening at RAF Gosford. Over.
Okay there, Stuart, there. Still, well, you're a very nice signal. Dave is a good signal with me, and so is Alan. There, no problems at all. But as you know, the very low noise level here, and there doesn't appear to be this end very much QSB there. Okay there, Stuart. There, yeah, the radio is up the shack is just past the entrance to the two hangars, isn't it there? And I got a beam up, and I think it looks like a Wyndham or a dipole there stretched out. So I've never been there actually in the radio shack. Been in the museum often enough, and looked at and everything, and thought, all the kit that I used to go in is there. But it's a very nice museum there, and quite a good restaurant as well. Right, for anybody that's listening, it's well worth a visit there. Okay, right, what else there? Oh yes, plates and dipping and
there and the tuning and so on. Yes, I don't know. The initial exam.
I'm nearly lost, Anthony, Dave.
Yeah, he's coming in okay now.
But I suppose modern radios, they're so well protected and everything's done for you that it's a bit too easy, isn't it? There we go. It's a fact of life these days. They've got to be communicating with a tablet glued to their ears. Not like a little handheld when they came in. And we all had them, or 290s grafted to our backs there. Round to you then, Alan. Go ahead.
Okay, Anthony. Yeah, nearly lost you then, mate. I've got like a pumping sound, zook, zoom, zoom, on the frequency. It's a weird, and I notice it takes the S meter up to 10/9, and then it goes back. It don't seem to interfere with the communication too much, but I can't say I've heard that sound before. So following on that then, Stuart, plus you're doing okay. It's still selling bits and bobs. We're still in the realms of selling bits and bobs. Some of Fred's, and some of my old fire brigade equipment, i.e. tunics. I just took a couple of, three things up for dispatch. Yeah, so there you go, mate. So, how do you copy everybody, Dave? It would seem that when it went down with me, it went up with you, Dave, over?
Yes, that's most odd. I heard you say you'd practically lost Anthony, but he came up nicely with me, Q5. Isn't it strange the way propagation goes? Yes, Stuart, I've been to RAF Cosford as well. I didn't know where the amateur radio station was. I went up there for a totally different reason a few years back, because they hosted the big UK roller skating competition in one of the hangars. And there was 35 couples taking part. My son and his partner took part as well. They didn't do very well, came below halfway, but it was a massive competition. It's amazing what they can put on up there. But that was a few years back. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a FTDX 3000. What's the other one now? Is it a 5000? They cost over £8,000, the big one. This one cost me brand new in 1969. I paid £132. That was all. It was one of the first of the FT200s, and I'm still very fond of it. I've had loads of other rigs, but this one I can keep going. I don't have to send it away when it breaks down, being all valve. Very surprising about that blowing the PA though. I wonder what the PA tubes were, Alan. 6146s, if it's them, they're quite rugged. But on this one, it's just the old 6JS6s. Luckily, I've got half a dozen brand new ones in a box that I bought about 40 years ago. And now they cost about £35 each. So I'm glad I got them when I did. Back to you then. I think it must be your turn, Anthony, and then you can pass it on to Stuart. I've got to go by 10:30 anyway. G0TPA, G3ZPA.
G3ZPA, G0TPA in the group there, yeah. Okay there, Dave, on the various rigs and things. No, I think it was 146s that in that rig that Alan...
yes, it was.
Pardon?
Yes, it was 6146s.
Yeah. Yeah, well, anyway, sometimes it doesn't take long to crease these things, does it? But they are fairly rugged, yeah. Yeah, well, I think the first rigs and things that I had were very, very cheap. Today, real terms today, but when you're not earning a great deal of money anyway, they can become quite expensive. But they don't owe you anything now. I mean, this ST1000 doesn't owe me anything. That's for certain. It's been a damn good rig. I suppose I shouldn't speak about it because it probably acts up. So there we go there. And okay there, Stuart. Well, Tessa's okay. She tripped over the back step into the kitchen on Friday, and now she looks as if she's been in a boxing match. And she's got a bruised knee and a bruised arm there, Stuart there. I think we shall be going to the rugby rally at Princess Port there, so we'll probably see you there then. I hope the hand's okay. Over to you then, Stuart. G8FC, G0TPA in the group.
Yeah, G0TPA with G3ZPA and G4PPW. Golf 8 Fox Charlie returning. Okay, Tony and everybody. All copied, although the signals are waxing and waning a little bit, so I'm going to make this the final. I'm going to do some more familiarization training here in the shack and see what's what. I might even bring my radio in shortly to see how this performs on the antenna, and I've even brought my antenna analyzer over just to do a few checks from that perspective as well. But it's a pleasure to speak to everybody today. Yeah, sorry to hear about Tessa, by the way, Tony. You'll have to tell her to take more water with it, I'm afraid. And yeah, Anne's fine. She's up in the Stroke A location at the moment in East Yorkshire in Hornsey. It's a pity she wasn't on the end of the radio from the Stroke A location. Yeah, and what else can I tell you? I've had a toothache off and on the last 2 days. I've been plagued with a tooth problem for about 2 or 3 months now, and I should have listened to the dentist and had the thing taken out. But to be honest with you, since I've busied myself this morning, it's gone off a little bit, so maybe it's psychological more than anything else. Anyway, nice to speak to you all, and okay, Alan, on the exploits of the equipment there. Keep up the good work. I'm sure you'll get it all sorted eventually. And looking forward, yes indeed, Tony, to the rugby rally. Of course, the next rally I think we're going to is the flight refuelling rally at Merley Park in Wimborne. We go down to Blandford Forum, of course, for a few days before the rally. So we go to Blandford Camp, have a few days there, and then we go over to the rally site on the Saturday. So that's what we're intending to do. But good stuff. Okay, guys. Well, I wish you all a very good morning, and we'll catch you further down. Pass it back to you, Anthony. I think does it come back to you? I can't remember. Take it anyway, Anthony, because my memory's like a sieve. G0TPA with G3ZPA and G4PPW, Golf 8 Fox Charlie, Royal Air Force Cosford, headquarters station, just listening to the frequency. Bye for now.
Okay, Stuart. Yeah, 7-3s, mate. Nice to hear you. Round to you, Dave. Say hello.
Well, I'm afraid I totally lost Stuart. He faded out for the last 2 minutes. Wouldn't have even known he was there. But Anthony came up to 5 and 9. It's very weird. But if you can hear me, Stuart,
73s, but totally lost you in the end. Over to you, Anthony, G3ZPA.
Yes, okay, 73s there, Stuart. Love to Anne then when you get in contact with her there. You've remained a good signal with me, but going up and down in the QSB there. And okay there, Dave. Yeah, and you have as well, and so's Alan there. But as you know, I'm not plagued with any noise there then. So cheers to you then, Stuart there. Over to you then, Alan. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, fine. Well, the other thing we've got to say at this end is that we've made this 5/8 vertical for 4 metres, because the IC7300 goes to 4 metres, Dave. I've put out numerous calls. I've had 3 contacts, or no, tell a lie, 4, and there ain't a lot of people on that band. Or humping around when there's nobody there. One of the other oh dear. It puts out 50 watts on 70 megs. There you go, mate. Yeah, we don't know what exactly happened with this chap who blew the finals up on the TS830, but there you are. The hobby is for a learning curve, Dave, isn't it, over? And he certainly is having a learning.
Well, yeah, if you're ruining 6146s, 2 of them, that's an expensive way to learn. Your signal's been very consistent, Alan. No QSB whatsoever. Anthony was going up and down like a yo-yo. But it's strange. When he put it over to Stuart, Anthony, you'd come up to S9. But Stuart was very weak, and then as he went on, I totally lost him. For the last couple of minutes, never heard a word. Most odd. I would have thought the club station up there, the area would have been quite a big one. So there we are. Oh yes, I have got 4 metres, but I only got about 20 watts. I've had a lot of contacts on it, but I do tend to work into the simplex repeater. I forget where it is. It's I aim my beam to the southwest, and it picks up the simplex repeater. Now, I don't know whether you've ever worked into a simplex repeater. They're totally different from the usual duplex ones. It's not always on the air, but I haven't been on for the last few weeks now. It's strange. You transmit, and then the repeater repeats what you've got, and then it transmits over to the other station, who then transmits back. It's weird. It takes 4 overs, so you have to listen 3 times extra. So it takes double the length of a normal duplex repeater. It's very weird. I'm not sure why they've done that, but it just means that you can go on the one frequency and have contacts. But it takes a long time because you have to listen to your own voice coming back before you can speak to the other chap. Oh well, there we are. You're probably out of range of that. I think it's probably about 35 miles to the southwest of me, and I have quite a few contacts with stations within range of the repeater, but not many simplex. About my best DX is Leighton Buzzard, which is only 7 miles to the south. Anyway, I'll have to make this my final. I've got to go out at 10:30, and it's nearly that now. Nice to hear you two chaps again. Over to you, Anthony. I'll listen once round. G0TPA, G3ZPA.
G3ZPA, G0TPA. Yeah, well, we mustn't keep you this time like we have done, and you're a bit panicking there, Dave. So yeah, fine, lovely to hear you then. And well, you've been well over the 9 there, about 20 over the 9 with me on that over. It's the propagation there. I don't think we can blame the government, but we could try. Yeah, and yeah, so have a good couple of days there, or longer, and I'll put it round to you then, Alan, from G0TPA. Cheers then, Dave.
I've got the simplex repeater in here, in this radio. I must Google it a bit more to understand a bit more about it, Dave. Yeah, okay, mate. Well, 7-3 to you. Wondered whether you'd call in, mate. Back to you for a quick final then, over.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I must go now. Yes, it's simple to operate. You just got to be patient. When you've finished your over, you've got to put up with your over coming back to you before the other bloke can reply, and he has to do the same. I expect you're within range of it. I'm not sure. You just said you got did you say you got a vertical? A 5/8 vertical? If you have, you might be able to get it, but I use a 2-element homemade beam, although the reflector fell down last week, so it's not working very well, and I can't be bothered to do anything about it. I suffer from that terrible disease, can't be bothered-itis. 73's Alan, and to you, Anthony. You're both way over the 9 now, but I must go. G3ZPA QRT.
Yeah, cheers, Dave.
Yeah, cheers. I've been suffering from that for some time there, Dave, that disease. Cheers, 7-3.
You're not allowed to double. That's 50 lashes.
Is that right?
Well, Fred Doubler, yeah. That reminds me, 7-3s and Dave, I've got that itis as well. Badly. Go ahead, Alan.
Okay, yeah, he didn't he, old Fred, yeah, and of course he wouldn't shut up then, would he? He ain't got a waffle facility, he just waffled and waffled, didn't he? Dear good old Fred. I used to get on to him, but there you are. I shall have to try the repeater that I set up. I set up the tone, and there was a tone or something. I'll see. I must Google the thing. I must write on here. Yeah. If I write things down, it reminds me. Otherwise, as soon as I get up, it's gone out of my head, really. So, Anthony, I think I'm going to bow out about this time. Unless you've got anything else, mate. Nice having the word. It's been different this morning again, isn't it? G4PPW.
Yeah, okay, from G0TPA, that's fine there, Alan, there, it's been good and different, yep, there, and it's the first time I've heard of the simplex repeater there. I'm not up with too many of these, this modern systems, the D-Star and all those things there. I'm used to the old 600 gap, you know, there, Alan. There, and you never know there, but it does seem a bit long-winded, though, doesn't it? But I suppose it makes with the way things are easy to record things now, there and transmit them back on the same frequency. It's probably a good, a cheap way of doing the job there, Alan. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, you can get out to the repeater and that's high up, I presume, and it rebroadcasts what you said. Mind you, every time I put a call out on that particular frequency, I ain't give it any time. So maybe. Well, it's something to ask around about, isn't it, really? So, yeah, good old Dave, thanks for that, really. And interesting with Stuart at RF Cosworth. weren't it? So that was very good. Okay, mate. Catch you Wednesday. All being well. I don't think we got anything on. Anyway, we'll see you on G4PPW.
Yeah, okay there, Alan. You know, I should be on Wednesday. I've just got to go and see if I can sort the devastation out there. But like Dave, I've got the don't do it-itis or anything, so you just don't know by the time I've got downstairs whether enthusiasm will be there. So there we go there. Well, get the ear seen to and catch you Wednesday then. G4PPW, G0TPA, wishing you 7 V's and cheers, Alan. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, good luck on the rubble moving, the trees and stuff. At least the mains cave won't come down, will it? Not unless you set lighter and you burn the poles. Okay, mate, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Well, that's a possibility. Insulation's off both wires and light some bonfires underneath it there. Might do it in. Anyway, cheers, Alan. G0TPA now closing.
Cheers, Anthony. G4PPW likewise.
Cheers all, G8 Fox Charlie and now QSY.
Yeah, okay there, Stuart. Well, am I right where that shack is? In between the two hangars, hangar 1 and the entrance. It's up there behind a large gate, isn't it? There, Stuart, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm struggling to hear your question, Anthony. You said, are you right about something in between two hangars, but I couldn't get the question.
The radio shack. It's in a brick building on the right-hand side, near the main hall. In between there's a little road that starts to go up there, Stuart. Is that the place there? Go ahead.
Yeah, are you asking where the RAF RAFA's headquarters station is located? Is that the question?
Roger, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I think I got the gist of it. Well, as you come up to the large building on your right-hand side, if you came along as far as you could go, and the building was immediately on your right, there is then a secure gate. There is then a secure chain link fence gate, which is manned by military personnel. And just inside that gate on the right-hand side is the RAFA's headquarters station. QSL?
Yeah, Roger, that's what I was trying to describe there, Stuart, there. Yeah, and I think there's a beam up and a dipole across the hangars there, Stuart. Go ahead.
Yep, from Golf 8 Fox Charlie, that's absolutely correct, Anthony. And I'm presuming I'm working off the dipole today, but I'm not sure about SWR or anything else, although it does look okay. But it's this radio that's confusing me. I know my own radio quite intimately, my amateur orientated radio, as it were, as opposed to my collection of military radios. But I don't really know the Yaesu FT-DX3000. So it's the blind leading the blind at the moment, Anthony. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay there, Stuart. Yeah, I can see that there. Well, take a Harris and stick it in or something like that there. But it's sounding very good, and you are putting out a reasonable signal there, Stuart. That's for certain. But I think it's got a multitude of buttons on it. You'll probably only need 4 of them, but there, once you've got used to it there, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, what do I only need 4 of?
Buttons on the 3000 there. All all the rest, you can leave there, Stuart. Go ahead.
Yes, QSL, yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Anthony. That's what it is. It's overcomplicated, and in fact a lot of these radios are overcomplicated. Each time I go to the Stroke A location in East Yorkshire, where of course there's a nice FT1000MP sat there, I always struggle to renegotiate around all the buttons and to understand what it does, especially with the two VFOs. But that's another story, Anthony. There we are. Anyway, I shall plod on, but good to talk to you today. Golf 8 Fox Charlie with G0TBI on the microphone.
Yeah, okay there, Stuart. The fishbone's just come up underneath us there. So carry on with the good work there, and see if you can get a few contacts there. But the fishbone is underneath us now. So I'll say 7-3, 88 to Anne when you see her, and probably see you then at Rugby there, because that ain't so far away. So cheers, G0TPA, just listening, and then going.
It's gone right down now, Anthony, gone right down in the lorry, so it's about time we knocked it on the head. So 73, and speak to you further down. Golf 8 Fox Charlie, now clear. Bye for now.
Yeah, bye for now, Stuart. G0TPA, now clear and closing.